If you have watched every anime you see on screen right now, then this video is for you. I'm Unseen Whispers, and this is 5 romantic comedies that you haven't watched. Hopefully. Anyways, let's see if you can guess what waifu this is. Number 1. How clumsy you are, Miss Yuino. This anime can basically be summed up as Yuino really wants to get in Tanaka's pants. So, yeah. Number 2. What's that? This entry needs to be longer? Fine. Miss Yuino is basically the female version of Senku. She is a genius among geniuses and is frequently inventing new technology that you would only expect to see in a sci-fi movie. For example, Yuino has invented a purifier which can turn literally anything into drinkable water. And she has also invented a machine which can instantly deodorize any substance. Now, a reasonable person would use this type of intelligence to benefit humanity, but Yuino really just wants to get it on with a brick wall. Oops, I meant her fellow science club member, Tanaka. Yuino is in love with the brick wall, but she is unable to directly express how she feels. So she decides the best course of action is to create many new inventions which she will use to try and seduce the brick wall that is Tanaka. If you haven't caught on already, Tanaka is just about the densest anime character that has ever been written. It doesn't matter whether Yuino asks Tanaka to look directly up her skirt or to touch literally any part of her body. He just doesn't realize that she has feelings for him. How Clumsy You Are, Miss Yuino only has 13-minute episodes, and its episode structure is very simple. The episodes tend to go as follows. Introduce invention, discuss the plan, then the plan backfires because Tanaka is such a brick wall. It's extremely simple but also really funny. You might need to skip the first invention as it could be a little much for some people, but overall this is a short but fun anime to watch. Number 2. Library Wars. In this version of Japan, the Media Enhancement Law was enacted, which gives the government the right to censor any form of media that the government sees fit. In order to preserve human creativity and freedom, the Library Defense Force was created to combat this oppression. Each library has its own specially trained military who are fully armed and ready for combat while on library property. Iku Kasahara was saved at her local bookstore by a library task force soldier and has dreamed of joining the force ever since. This anime follows Iku as she starts out as a wide-eyed recruit and slowly learns how to become a proper soldier in the library task force, all the while finding love along the way. Personally, Library Wars caught my eye due to the interesting setting of having a tyrannical and oppressive government, which hits a little too close to home these days. Plus, I find it refreshing from time to time to get away from the typical over-the-top anime action and to just watch something with a little more realism to it. I went into this anime with very low expectations, and because of that, I found it to be very entertaining. Personally, I think the 7.5 rating is perfect for Library Wars. It has a very predictable but fun romance alongside some actually realistic combat scenes. It's not going to completely blow you away, but overall it's just a very solid anime. By the way, if you didn't know, I usually run polls to decide which genre to cover next, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss your chance to vote. Number 3. Kyokai No Rene. When Sakura was a child, she accidentally found her way into the world that lies between the living and reincarnation. Ever since then, she has had the ability to see all sorts of ghosts and spirits. Sakura is now a high school student, and she is trying her best to ignore the supernatural and live a normal young adult life. However, this all changes whenever Rene shows up to class after being absent for over a month. It turns out Rene is a Shinigami, kind of, whose job it is to guide lost and regretful spirits away from the earth to be reincarnated. This anime follows Sakura and Rene as they go through many different adventures while growing a little bit closer over the course of the journey. Kyokai no Rene is very similar to Noragami in its plot and characters. Then the relationship between Sakura and Rene is similar to Yato and Hiyori because there's always just the slightest hint of romance between them. Just know that while Noragami is more serious and action-focused, Kyokai no Rene is more lighthearted, which gives off some Inuyasha vibes. Will I be finishing this anime? Probably not, as it's not really my cup of tea. But be sure to check it out for yourself, because it has 75 episodes, and that could keep you busy for a while. Number 4. Wreck. Fumihiko is just your typical single 25-year-old, but tonight is no ordinary night as he managed to land a date with a cute coworker. Though his excitement fades to disappointment as he slowly begins to realize that he's been stood up. Just as he gives up hope and is about to toss the tickets, a cute voice actress named Aka appears, asking if she can have one of them. He hands her a ticket, but then she says it'd be a waste to throw away the other one, and proceeds to drag him into the movie theater. After the movie and dinner, this date ends with a lovely walk home, since Fumihiko and Aka just so happen to live in the exact same neighborhood. Later that night, Fumihiko wakes up to the sound of a fire truck and rushes outside to make sure Aka made it out of her apartment okay. Other than a little trauma, she is mostly fine, except now she doesn't have a place to go. Being the nice guy he is, Fumihiko invites Aka to stay with him for the time being. This anime follows Fumihiko and Aka as they grow closer and closer through living together. Now, Rec is a seinen anime as it deals with some more mature issues such as complications of sleeping together too soon or having to hide said relationship from your employer. But even so, this anime can still be entertaining for younger viewers. I mean, does watching someone get smashed into a wall really ever get old? Overall, I really enjoyed this anime. It's just nice to see a romantic comedy that deals with a more mature relationship rather than the typical high school drama. Now, this anime is shorter than normal, merely consisting of 9 13-minute episodes, but if you are old enough to be living on your own, then I'm willing to bet you can appreciate this anime. Number 5. Fortune Arterial. Due to his father's work frequently causing them to move, Kohei has become accustomed to transferring to a new school. This time, however, he's at Shuchikan Academy, which happens to be a boarding school, meaning Kohei might finally have the opportunity to settle into a normal high school life. Immediately upon arriving, he is greeted by Erika, the vice president of the student council. As they go to shake hands, Erika suddenly falls to the ground, as though she was knocked down by an unseen force. After she runs away, Kohei decides that he really just wants to get accustomed to the new school. But he quickly garners a bad reputation whenever a prank causes him to walk into the female bath stark naked. If that wasn't bad enough, Kohei also has reasons to suspect that this school might be harboring some more supernatural students. Fortune Arterial is based off of a visual novel and is more or less your typical high school rom-com. It tries to stand out by adding in a bit of supernatural, but overall it's pretty generic. That being said, I really enjoyed this anime, largely due to the animation style, which I think looks fantastic. Now, if you are looking for the next big and innovative anime, then this isn't it. But if you want a good anime which contains everything you love about the romantic comedy genre, then this one's for you. Were you able to guess what waifu this is? It's Juliet Persia from boarding school Juliet. Hey, did you check out last week's video on why I believe Rachel is the best character in Tower of God? YouTube barely showed it to anyone, so I would greatly appreciate it if you go check it out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope to see you next time.